Well, Merry Christmas. Hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. Today is, of course, December 25th. It's about 12 or 1 o'clock a.m. And today is my birthday. Yeah, today is my birthday. I am 63 years old. But what I want to talk about is not just thanking God for another year to celebrate my birthday, but another year where I'm still alive and my children are still alive. My husband, my daughter. I'm thanking God for life and life more abundantly. Those of you that know me, you already know that this year has been, I don't even know the right kind of adjectives to describe a tumultuous year. Hectic, challenging, challenging my faith, challenging the God inside of me, a prayer life that has changed so many times and so many different variables. Now you put yourself on a schedule where you say you're going to pray 3 times a day and pray in tongues, and then you're going to meditate, and then you plan to spend time with the Lord, just walking and doing your exercise and all those things that I said I was going to do and that I really, really tried to do. Some of the times that I was traveling with my daughter, I probably did more than 10,000 steps, so I'm grateful. But the reason why I'm doing this video in particular is about faith. Um, I was talking to Heaven the other day, and if you don't know, she has been diagnosed back in April, May with stage 3 breast cancer. She's 29. Heaven. It's my daughter. And for some reason, I never worried about her diagnosis. It didn't bother me. It didn't upset me. I was concerned about her egg retrieval, egg freezing her eggs so that we could get grandkids after her treatment. But I didn't. I have not to this day worried about her having breast cancer. I wanted to know what she wanted to do and how she wanted to be treated, if she wanted to be treated, whether it was radiation, chemo, surgery, whatever. I just want to be that person that support her in what she wanted to do with her body. And when she made that decision, I was on it. Nobody was going to talk her into doing anything differently. I just been on top of what she wanted. So it's been some challenges. And, when you first start out, there's so many people that are supporting you and that are helping you and they're there for you. And some may, send her cash apps, or a young lady from her school set up a GoFundMe, and there was people that sent money through GoFundMe. There's been wonderful people that have loved her forever. They have been so supportive. Pastor Ricky McClooney and Sister Jeannie, Pastor McCullough, First Lady McCullough, and the church family. I don't want to call names because I may leave out someone, but there's been band parents and some of the churches that some of the band kids were in that made donations. Apostle Setzer was such a blessing. Dr. Rodney Glover has been like an uncle, a brother, and he's still to this day. I am so grateful to the Lord for the people that have seen the God in her and volunteered just to do. One of the things I want to talk about, I said earlier, I want to speak about faith. And the reason why I talk about faith is because I didn't realize the expense. I didn't realize all the things that we would have to go through, physically, psychologically, mentally, and financially. like you or anybody else, if you have a child and your child is sick, there's no number or money that you would or would not do for your child. That's the way I am anyway. So I never thought about money. If I have it, then she's got it. I knew there was a lot of opportunity to do a lot of things like grants and a lot of opportunities, so I thought. But when having decided to do a treatment in a different state, the grants were not easy to come by. So to be totally honest, we went through, I know I did, and I know she did too, all of my emergency cash, all of my savings. You just do what you got to do, right? It's your baby. You do what you got to do. And I was asking her, the last time I went to New York, we went 8 weeks, stayed, I think I say 6, she stayed 8, going back and forth every other week. God has really blessed us with airfares and, the hotel accommodations. I'm not saying we bougie, but we want us in a decent place, no rodents or anything like that. So we've been paying out of pocket since May for hotel accommodations for up to a week at a time, up to 8 weeks at a time. And Ubers and Lyfts and subways and trains and buses. Heaven has mastered New York and New Jersey. I cannot believe she can go anywhere. It's just really been amazing on how well she's able to maneuver New York and New Jersey. But I'm still not really saying what I really want to say. I want to talk about faith. I remember the last time I came home from New York, I had been going every week, and I got sick. My body was so weak. I mean, when we go, we walk like sometimes 7-8 miles a day. She's so in shape and she's doing so well, but we started going like April. I guess like in November, my body just was just tired. I think I was tired, not just from that, but I was feeling some kind of guilt feeling for not being here for Mama and, doing all the things I normally do. And then Mama got COVID and I couldn't bring her home because Heaven was here. And you cannot give your child COVID or catch it and give it to your child if she's already going through chemo or having problems with low hemoglobins and white blood count. So I think I had some things going on with me, just not being able to do what I normally do for Mama. And so I remember the last time she went, she had one of her girlfriends to go. Her girlfriend and mother is a nurse and her doctor's a MD. Her father's an MD. So I felt pretty comfortable with her going with Heaven. And I didn't go. I was really glad I didn't go because I was really weak and not well. It gave me like 3-4 weeks to just build up my immune system and get better. And when she left, I know she had she said she had, I said, well, you got enough money to pay for the hotel? She said, yeah, I'm going to use my savings. Okay. She just the last little bit of savings. And every time we go, it's anywhere between $100 and $1,700, something like that a week. It's okay. And so when she got back, I think it was like the week before Thanksgiving or something like that, I said, okay, we got to go back. They said, you have 6 weeks to go back for your PET scan and to determine whether or not if the cancer is gone or if you need further treatment or whatever. I said, do you have the money for that? She said, no. And I'm not worried about it. It's none of my business. That's God's business. I said, yeah, I know that, but have you talked to the lady about getting the grants? Like I'm out of money. Do you know? She said, no, that is not none of my business. How I'm going to pay for the hotel and what I got to do to pay for my bills, it is none of my business. That's God's business. That's okay. So that was in November. So here it is time for us to go on Christmas Day. I called her last week. I said, do you have monies for the hotel? Or maybe somebody done blessed her or something. I don't know. She says, no. That's okay. I finally started getting my Social Security in February. Every month I've gotten it, I spend it on accommodations, Ubers, food, or whatever I need to do for her. So I never really got to really enjoy it. So I had a little attitude a little bit because I'm thinking, well, you knew back in November you didn't have the money. We need to start calling people and ask them for help because I don't have any more. And I said, what about the grants? The young lady told us about the grants. And she's well, I sent them what they told me to send them. I got on the phone, I called her, and she says, I just missing one little item, which is a letter from the doctor for diagnosis. And then I can go ahead and start following through and sending out information for them. And one young lady said, if you send the information in, even if you go and stay in the hotel the week before Thanksgiving, we may not have the paperwork set up that week, but we can reimburse you. So my thought was, well, let me go ahead and get this in and maybe we have the money by Christmas. It didn't happen. I called and I have not cried. I have not been upset about anything. But I called the main doctor that we've been seeing since we first started. I said, listen, I need for you to write me a letter saying the date that Heaven was diagnosed and the treatment she's receiving. Every time I email him, he'll send me the information immediately. He said to me, I said, I need to send it to the young lady that's going to be able to help us get accommodations for housing and maybe some Uber rides and stuff. He said to me, he called me. I said, hey, doctor. He says, hey, Crystal, how are you? And I told him what he said, I got your email because he normally responds immediately. He said, I don't think it'd be a wise thing for me to do that. I said, what do you mean? He says, well, I did the radiation for her and I think it'd be best that the doctors treating her for chemo write the letter. Well, first of all, this doctor that is doing the chemo, the oncologist, he's got a $140 million project that he's doing that can cure cancer for people that's, he said, one foot in the grave and the other banana peel, how people have been cured. He's one of the most famous physicians that exist. And every time we've called him, when we leave, we can't get him. But when we're there, he's wonderful. He only goes into the office that Heaven goes to once a week. It's on Thursday. And he's really, really nice. I mean, he'll call me on the phone, talk or whatever, but since she started treatment, it's just, if it's not a Thursday, we can't hardly get him. So I'm thinking, if I can't get him when Heaven's having difficulties, you think I'm going to get him on the phone for him to write a letter for a grant? He said, Crystal, I think that would be best. Just try that. Try that and get back to me. And I'm thinking, try that. I'm trying to get the money so I can go up there the next couple of weeks. I need the letter done, right? And for the first time, I just felt tears running out of my eyes. I started crying. Y'all don't be crying. I felt that, first of all, I don't call anybody and ask them anything unless I need it. Second of all, I need it. And you know I don't bug you. And you telling me to go call somebody else. You're the only person I could depend on. When I was working for the Department of Social Service, they said you need to always have a doctor or therapist in your back pocket, somebody you can depend on. A lawyer, a judge, or somebody. And that's the only person I had. I don't know anybody in New York and New Jersey. And I started crying. Yeah. Okay, I had the money for the hotel. Heavens, I can do one day. But you still have to eat. You still have Ubers rides. And the last time I was up there, I left, it was 85 degrees. And I got there, it was like 30, and my body just went in shock. It was just so cold. It was terribly cold. And then when we would catch we walked to the bus from the hotel, and then we caught the bus to the Port Authority, which is a bus station. Then we catch the subway to wherever, park, wherever. And my body was going through so many changes. Sometimes the subways was hot, sometimes it was cold. While we're in New York, I got a duck down coat for the winter time, so my body was warm. I got several toboggans. Some of them have the fur on the inside of them. But I'm going through menopause, so sometimes I would start breaking out in sweat. So up on all this sweaters and stuff, I would start sweating. And then my head would be soaking wet. I take the toboggan off, fur in the toboggan, my head was warm, then I'm soaking wet. So my body just went through too many temperatures back to back. And I just got sick. I can't say I had a cold. I just got sick. I was tired. So this time I'm thinking, listen, I'm already at my wit's end. I just need you guys to help me just do this. And he said, well, just let me know if it doesn't work out for you. I went and looked at my email, and there was another letter he had written me in September for, I think it was Susan Coleman or something. And it said that the information that I needed, so I just took that letter and mailed it. She said, oh, that letter, and which I didn't need in. And she said, oh, that letter's fine, because you started doing the information in August, so this was way in September. This is perfect. I said, great. And so I was talking to my daughter, Heaven, and she said, Mama, set up the flights, whatever you said. I set the flights up, and I'm thinking, I don't want to fly to North Carolina in the cold. It was 26, whatever, it's been cold. And then leave North Carolina, then fly to New York in cold. Plus, I still have to go pick up Mama. I still have to put in shoes and do a nail. I still do stuff for Mama, right? I don't want to get sick. I'm supposed to be doing a recording. And so I just didn't want to go to New York. So I got tickets, I think, from Fort Lauderdale and Heavens from Charlotte to Atlanta. And we were going to meet in Atlanta, get on the same flight, and then fly to New York. She calls me last week and said, Mama, we've been flying with Alliance, sometimes private planes or whatever. They said the caregiver, me, or whoever's flying with Heaven, has to be on the same flight or leave the same location. I said, well, what do you mean? She said, you have to come here or I have to come there. So I come to this, I said, okay, I can't do this right now. Let me think about it. I called her back with this brilliant idea. I was like, I got it. I'm going to get Beret to come to North Carolina. And Beret will catch a flight with you to New York. And he can drive you to the airport. Because her arm was giving her problems, so she was in pain. Plus, she'd been to the doctor twice, to the hospital twice, and to the doctor's office twice. She had a superficial blood clot. She couldn't use her left arm. She was in pain. I was like, I need to go there and pack. It was just so much. I need to go pick up Mama. I need to take Mama back. It's a lot, right? So I come with this brilliant idea for Beret to Christmas Day. She got a change to the day after Christmas. So Ray was going to go to North Carolina, either do a megabus, train, or whatever. Because now, mind you, the money is low. And then help Heaven and to the airport, and then they would fly on to New York. So I was more concerned about finding a flight. So I have a nephew that works for the airline. I called him. I said, could you get me a buddy pass, a standby? He said, okay, I'll check on Chris. I told him what date. I told him I was going to try to meet Heaven and Beret in Atlanta because I just could not go back. I had Mama. He called me back. He says, Aunt Crystal, I can get you to Atlanta, but the flight is filled up from Atlanta to New York. That's as far as I can get you. And mind you, this is last week. We gotta leave tomorrow. You know how flights are at the last minute. A holiday? If I didn't have no money to go, period, even if they was giving us a flight, and I'm using what I have for hotel accommodations, where in the heck do I have money to buy a ticket for $800 to $1,000 just to be there with her? So I said, Heaven, I said, would you be okay if I don't come? I mean, can we get the date changed like January 3rd or 4th? Because it seems like everybody be home and the tickets will be down lower. She said to me, if you don't go, if Ray don't go, I got to go. It'll be 6 weeks. I need my PET scan, and I need to know where my life is going. Now, I want you to go, but if you can't go, I understand. I gotta go. What am I gonna do? She's trying to figure out if she still have cancer or not. I need to be there. Do you not know that I went from, I was trying to find flights, Fort Lauderdale, one-way round trip, Miami, round trip, one-way, West Palm Beach, Orlando, Melbourne. I was just trying to find something that I could afford. And I couldn't. And then I started running to the issue that it's just not great for Leah to be driving late at night anymore. I mean, driving 2 hours for him to drive me to Fort Lauderdale and Miami. 2 hours back, that's 4 hours for him. 2 hours back to come get me, and 2 hours supposed to come back home. And then I had to make sure it wasn't nighttime or dark. Do you not know the day is Sunday? I think it was Thursday. I thought I found a ticket. It was pretty reasonable. I think it's like $500. I got a phone call. The person was crying. The person was rejoicing. The person that called me and asked me could they borrow some money, and I was going to send it to him. I thought they was calling me back to say, did you not send me the money? I just forgot. And they weren't calling about that. It was something else had happened. And they were able to bless me with a round trip ticket to New York in a nick of time. A nick of time. I just shook my head because it just happened just like that. I was supposed to be sending them some money, a few dollars. I forgot to send it. I thought it was calling me back to ask for it. Wasn't there. So I called Heaven. I'm long-winded, I know. I called Heaven. No, I sent her the flight arrangements. She didn't look at them. I sent it to my son. I sent it to my husband. Because I'm thinking, they said, where you get this from? How'd you do it? I think it was the day before yesterday when I finally talked to her. You looked at my flight arrangement? She said, no. I said, you know I have them? She said, yeah. So how'd you know? She says, because God is going to provide. I said, yeah. I know he is, but he always does. She said, oh, I know. She said, I'm not worried about nothing. Like I told you, it's none of my business. And then she had the audacity to start quoting all kinds of scriptures that I've told her to live on. I said, Heaven, I got that. My faith is real and genuine for me. But when I start talking about my kids or my mom or somebody else, I mastermind. But when I start talking about my children, she says, I said, but it happened just in a nick of time. This girl made me so mad. She said, well, I'm going to tell you something. I knew it was going to come through, and it came through for me too. God bless me as well. She said, but until you learn how to turn it all over to the Lord, and really walk in true faith. We got to keep going through these changes, nick of time faith, nick of time until you get it right. Did I get it right? That's the problem. You're not walking totally on faith. It's just like you have to believe in a nick of time it happens. That's why we keep going through this. That's what she said to me. That's okay. You may be right. I'm going to work on my nick of time faith. Y'all have that faith where you say, I believe God. I know what faith is. I don't see it's going to come. I really do have that kind of faith. I really do. I do. That nick of time faith, that last minute faith. I'm struggling with. And she said, well, if you don't get it right, we're going to keep on going through the same thing every week, day in and day out. I'm thinking, okay. So I'm doing this post to encourage somebody else. That Hebrews 11:1 is true. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. See, in the script, it doesn't say what time. See, with me, if I know I have to go somewhere and do something, I start preparing. I'm flying to New York tomorrow. I'm not going to wait till tomorrow morning to start packing. I prepare. I also believe that I don't need to be waiting around to see if he's going to do it. I need to be doing my part too. That's what I really believe. I really believe that. So this nick of time faith. My husband's like, you said nick. I said, no, nick of time. I got to work on that. Having my stories from when she was younger was just amazing. Her fireplace went out. I said, how you get your fire? She said, I got your fireplace on. She told me it went out about 2 weeks ago. I said, you get it fixed? She said, nope. That's what you do. She said, I did what we used to do. When we used microwave would go out when we were younger, when she was younger. I lay hands on her, pray for it, and the microwave would start back working. She said, I laid hands on her, prayed for it, and said, my dog, and we need this fireplace, and laid hands on it, prayed, and it came on. You taught me that. You showed me how to do it. Let me tell you something. When I was single with my kids, they were younger, sometimes, you know how you just have enough gas to go back and forth to work for that week and nothing extra like a revival and going back and forth. My hand has been on E. Now I'm talking about E like a little bit below E. And I said, wait a minute, y'all. I got to pray because I don't have no money. I will lay my hand on the needle. I know it sounds crazy. And I will pray and believe. My kids believe too. Do you know the needle would go all the way up to like a 4-foot tank? I'm telling you the truth. I mean, one day, Heaven was screaming in the house. I said, what's wrong? What's wrong? She was screaming. I ran to the kitchen to see what was wrong with her. The dishwasher was broken. I guess she thought she had to wash dishes. You know what we did? Laid hands on the dishwasher and prayed for it to start back working. So, you know, I do have that little now faith kind of stuff going on. This is a little different. You know, it worked pretty good if you're in Gaston, you're in Dallas, and you're around mom and them. But we talk about New York, Secaucus, New Jersey, all these different places I've never been. I need to know before I leave home that I got enough money to eat, fly, and get to where I need to get to. And let me tell you something. When I go to New York, the last time I went, I asked Ray, what do you want? I made him I think he wanted some red beans and rice. My husband made me some salmon croquette, because you know the hotel we stay in, it's a residence inn. So it's got a full refrigerator. It's got like a microwave, a dishwasher, stove top. So I cook my food. Oh, yes, I do. I freeze it. Oh, yes, I do. And I travel with one of the little freezer bags, you know, it's like a little overnight bag it's insulated to keep your stuff cold. And I fly to New York and I have my food. Now, Heaven has to go to the store and get alkaline water and all kind of juices and things like that when we get there. But the foods that I like, I may buy me some egg white. I'm going to cook my food before I left. I'm not going nowhere and be hungry. And then when you know you're shortage your money and you can be there for days and days and days at a time, I know, first of all, the food, that we go to, it'd be okay. It don't be all that good. And by the time you go to a restaurant, it's $60, $70, $80 every time you go. You can't do that in breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I know I can't. I can't. And then on top of that, have stuff I don't eat. But I just want to encourage everybody. For those of you that have don't mess that nick of time faith, nick of time, not nick of time faith. Do like me. I'm going to work on it so that I don't have to continue going through it. I spoke to Heaven last night. I said, Heaven, thank God you go this week, we'll be done. She said, what do you mean? I just wanted to go back to New York and this winter weather, thank God to be over. She said, I don't know about that, because if need be, if it's not gone, I believe in God that it is, but I'm going to do my chemo directly into my breast. I remember he told her that. And I'm going to do the rest of radiation because I want it gone. We have to go to New York in January and February when it's cold. I really need to work on this nick of time faith. Thank you for praying for me, and thank you for praying for Heaven. Thank you for praying for Mother J and for Lee and Beret. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for sending me little messages to encourage us. You know, it's like when you have a baby, the first baby you have, everybody want to babysit, everybody want to take care of the baby, they be so excited. It's the same when a person get a diagnosis. Everybody's there for you initially. Oh, I don't know if they're there for you, if they're just nosy, I'm not really for sure. But as the months go by, February, March, April, we're all the way into December, almost a year now. It's not the same, but God is the same. And so we're going to continue believing God for this nick of time faith, right? Believing God for her complete healing. I posted something today. Mother J went to church. You know, she had COVID and she was in the hospital, so she went back today. She looks so pretty. She's a hot mess, but she looked pretty. Had her little foxtails on and stuff. Continue to pray for us. Do like I do if you don't have that nick of time faith. And get you some. Work on it. Pray about it. Believe Hebrews 11:1 for right now. Not later on, but right now. Okay? I love you with the love of God. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. I am a lender and not a borrower. And I will never, ever, ever, I say this, lack another day in my life. I am rich. I will live on 10%. And God will bless my nonprofit. God will bless my LLC to live on 10% and give and plant seeds of the 90% that I have to the kingdom of God. I believe that. I don't need no stage. I just want to be a blessing to the kingdom. That's what he called me to do. He also told me if I take care of my mama, he's going to always take care of me. And so far, I can say he has. I was telling Lee, I said, Lee, you in heaven, and Beret, y'all be having 2 and 3 jobs, and I don't have any. How am I lending y'all money? Oh, but no, I didn't have no Social Security then. How am I going to have more money than you guys? Having worked so many jobs, Lord have mercy. She was doing, it's an Uber drive where you buy the food. She touched her high school band. Then she had the church. And then she's working a clothing store. Pray for my daughter. She's a hard worker. Pray for my son, Beret. And please keep me in prayer. And we're going to pray that God continue to bless me with what heaven calls faith. What I call nick of time faith. Nick of time faith. God bless you. Bye-bye.